Tip number 3, use psychographic segmentation, particularly for professional services. This is a common model for financial services, but this can be applied to most B2B sales and even a lot of B2C. So for example, Home Depot, you can do it, we can help. Lowe's, let's build something together. Their messaging is going and speaking not to the do-it-yourselfer. The do-it-yourselfer is going to walk in at 6:30 Saturday morning, walk through the doors whether we advertise to him or not. The delegator, oh boy, his hands are smooth as silk. All he does is pick up the phone, not a hammer. The validator, that's who they're trying to market to. So you can do it, we can help. Let's build something together. Come in, get some help from us. Validators for professional services are traditionally going to be among your most highly profitable and strong strategic relationships because they want a trusted advisor. Speak to them that way and they'll be much more successful. So this is a dimension here of perceptions of advisors, and they rely or ignore them, or they seek information, high and low. Number 4, align your segments with your product portfolios. This is the BCG or Boston Consulting Group matrix on the market share versus market growth. You've probably seen this in a traditional marketing textbook. The dogs in the bottom left, you want to get out of those businesses, low margin and shrinking growth. Cash cows, we all love those businesses or business units. So when you think about those segments, price fighters, when you buy a product that you know is a commodity, you're very sensitive to price. The traditionalists begin moving up. As you go over here to the question marks, where these are niche offerings, you're looking for niche buyers. They have a very peculiar and specific set of needs. When you go and you look at the cash cows, these are your delivery buyers. Can you get it to me on time? There's some aspect of the cash cow business that really is differentiated for them. And then finally, in the upper right-hand corner, your quality fanatics. The size of the circle also represents generally the size of those respective markets, traditionally in most professional services industries. All right, and lastly, another model for, well, these are some examples of folks who do it right. The first one up there is Silver Pop. I need to. My role is. These are very powerful ways for you to begin testing and setting analytics to those segments. Another website I like to look at is Omniture.com. Who better than to take a look at than the analytics firm that 400 of the Fortune 500 already use themselves. So, marketing executive, online marketer, analyst, right? I'm going to separate by role. I tried to put something in here for different type of professional services. Longevity Alliance. Are you longevity ready? This is longevityready.com. Do you know how hard it is to get people to want to come in and do a profiler about the insurance that they're going to use for long-term care? That's a morbid topic. That's why I hired a designer who helped me put together some cartoons. And at the end of this is a profiler. Tell me about whether or not you're a validator or a delegator. And when you answer these 7 questions, we give you some really meaningful content back at the end. And number 5. Use psychographic profiles for online purchasing segments. So this is something that Eisenberg speak a lot of. It's in their books. And this model can be used for B2C or B2B. Think about an organization in terms of their speed to make decisions. So big organizations where there's lots of bureaucracies are going to be very methodical. They're going to want to do a lot of demos. They're thinking with their minds, and they're slow. Some organizations, particularly that are VC-backed, are going to be in the upper side, competitive and spontaneous. They're going to move very quickly, very aggressively in making new product decisions. So consider these 5 profiles as tools in developing your segmentation. Quick case study. I was working with a company out in Utah that helps struggling teenagers. And this company is at the top of their game. So if you're someone who has some wealth, this is the type of program that you might need to send your young child to be able to transform their behavior. So I asked the company, well, who are your clients? And they said, well, these are young students from good homes between 12 and 18. And the moms are generally the people who call. They're socially influential. The mom's motivated by fear. The mom might be out of her element because the child is acting out. Anyway, I said, oh, well, this sounds great. Your client is Barbara Billingsley. Okay, got it. Okay, so we started getting into the analytics. We started looking at the fallout within the places where folks were going, and we realized our conversion rates here aren't speaking very well when we have a lot of the soft messaging about how we transform the child. So I said, I'm not happy with the analytics. I mean, this is what you told me, but let me take a look at your CRM data. And they pulled it out. I said, I want to see the actual names of those who signed the contracts. And they were all male names. And then I asked, well, let me see the email accounts, because that's something we could get out of Salesforce. And they were all, it wasn't anybody from Gmail or Hotmail. It was from places like Goldman Sachs and McKinsey and Deutsche Bank. Oh, boy, this doesn't sound like Barbara Billingsley. This sounds to me like Gordon Gekko. Now, you got to talk to Gordon Gekko very differently than you talk to Barbara Billingsley. And there's a whole series of dimensions in terms of what they're trying to do. How does Gordon Gekko, greed is good, right? Remember that movie, Wall Street? I'm not talking about Charlie Sheen. I've been using this slide for years, and this whole Charlie Sheen thing just threw me off my groove. But Gordon Gekko, hey, look, if I were Gordon Gekko's child, I'd need a transformational school too. Okay? These guys are hard to live under the thumbscrews of a guy as demanding as that. And when they have a problem, how are they used to fixing it at the boardroom? Hey, get me the world's leading industry leader on such and such. Hey, when the guy comes in my office, fix this problem. I don't care how you do it, here's the money, let's get it done. Right? You got to speak to Gordon Gekko very, very differently than Barbara Billingsley. And in case you haven't heard about Tiger Water, you know, Tiger Blood, it might have been a product that they could have used then. All right. The path to cash, the purchasing funnel, you've all seen this: awareness, consideration, interest, preference, purchase. It fits for Latinos for 3 reasons in terms of social media, entertainment, community, and language. And again, I'm going to go through a lot of these slides because I hope that you'll be able to use these if you want to download them later as tools in contributing. So the engagement funnel is very similar: inactive, spectators, joiners, responders, and ambassadors. And when you put this together with how Latinos use social media, we over-index. And I'll just point out one item on this. The higher up on this slide, the more engaged you are. Creators, we over-index to the tune of, well, 12% for the average mainstream. We use it 40%. So we're talking over almost 3.5 times over-indexing when it comes to creating content on social networks. So no argument with the numbers there. I'm going to blow through this slide very quickly, but I just want to point the last one: average household income for those who are critics and creators, $43,000 to $47,000. So if you can download these slides here with more information. I'm going through them really quickly. Facebook, a couple years ago, I did this slide, screen printed it out. Brazil down there, number 20 was it? For the average number, or the aggregate number of Facebook users because of ORCID. Now it's growing at over 120%. And we've got LinkedIn here growing at 428% a year as well. So again, we use social media as well, and we're over-indexing there.
30 more seconds.
Okay. So I'm going to finish up with one last quick story here about being able to put this all together. It's hard to be able to put your analytics together with your data. All right, it's tough to build a pyramid from the top down. If you are starting out with a strategy and you're not rooting your strategy in your analytics, it's kind of like building a pyramid in the ages of old, from the first pyramid, from the top block down. Use data, have that inform your benchmarks and compare yourself to the other benchmarks. Segment, and then come up with new innovations and new experiences, and you're going to be in a position to advise your following and engage with them. All right. Thanks.